Today we're going to tour a couple of different railroad museums, one regular size and one miniature. We're starting here at the Oklahoma Railway Museum, and you see the Rock Island and Frisco line signs there. Really cool to see that as you walk in. And so this is a nonprofit organization. They have 4 diesel locomotives and a full assortment of different rail cars, and you just basically walk in, it's free, and you start touring around. They do train rides on selected Saturdays, so they were doing that today when I was visiting, and there's a lot of kids around. I think they had like a Halloween special ride going on. So they do, different Saturdays from April through September. They do train rides. Those obviously cost money, but it's free to come in and check things out. They have Halloween train, they have Easter train, they have a Christmas time train called the Polar Express. So they have 10 different diesel and steam locomotive engines, 10 passenger cars, and a bunch of way and freight equipment. They have a little model train area here. We're going to go to a much larger version of this later in the video, but it is pretty cool to see that, and they had a train running on the tracks today. I really enjoy looking at all the old buildings, and if you like that, you want to stick around to the second half of this video. There's a lot more. And they have a bit of a little museum in one of the train cars here too. So they don't have like a building full of historical train museum stuff. I guess they have a little bit of that coming up, I'll show you, but this is the more historical part where they have lots of photos of the different trains in the area. I like the old signs that they had there at the beginning. So the museum is open January to October, 9 to 5, Thursday through Saturday. And then it's only open in November and December for their Polar Express. And there's many trains that you can get out and walk around and go into. And then this is the depot. This is the Oakwood Depot. So they kind of refurbished that. And in the baggage area, they have more historical information. So they have that railroad car that has that. And then they have this building that has more. And so that's basically, if you're looking for history of the railroad, these are going to be the 2 buildings that you're going to want to check out. And then they do have a gift shop where you can get t-shirts and different things. There's a history of refurbishing the old depot. Then even outside of the main museum area, they have trains everywhere. Some of these look like they're just kind of sitting out and maybe they've been forgotten about a bit, but as I walked around everywhere, I saw even a couple little murals on the wall that seemed to be hidden, which I liked. And then they have an inspection car, which nice bright green and yellow colors. And then near the entrance, they have a bunch of small murals as well, little art projects. I'm not sure what the history of these are, but there's a bunch of them. And then we head over to the Oklahoma Model Railroad Association and Museum. Pretty innocent looking building over here. I do love this mural, little Route 66 there, and it's actually right here next to the railroad. When you go in, not quite sure exactly where to go. There's a couple different doors, but it's all connected. So we're gonna start with going over here to the left. I guess you'd say this is maybe the main entrance, but it's a huge area. So we're starting to look at the model train equipment here. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I have no knowledge of any of this, so I am ignorant as you could be, but it was really impressive to see this. So this is open every Saturday from 11 to 4, and also every Sunday 1 to 4. It's free, and they said that they plan to open daily because this is kind of a in-progress museum, and so they're still kind of working on things, as you'll see. It's a lot here already. So they are working away, and there's people from all ages. The detail to this stuff is kind of incredible when you see all the different buildings and the trees, and it's really amazing. And then you just have mountains. So they're all kinds of, it's representing all kinds of different places that the railroad would go through, whether it's cities or small towns, like energy sector right there in front of us, or rural areas. It's pretty amazing. On their website, it says it's their mission to build an interactive and engaging display for children and adults to learn about the history of the railroad. So they were originally set up in a local mall, and then in 2017, they moved over to this new building here in Oklahoma City. They started building new layouts in 2019, and it's just kind of an amazing, amazing place. They are always looking for volunteers to come and help. It's a nonprofit as well. So they work on bench work, electronics, tree building, miniature buildings, track laying, backdrop painting, terrain, mountain building, and wiring of engines for digital command control. There weren't a lot of trains running because they were kind of just getting set up. I think I got there when they were just opening. So there were a lot of people in here. You could hear people talking and interacting, and the word amazing is all I can say when I see this stuff. And you see like the intricate detail there of like that, like a canyon railroad, what they would build like in a canyon right there. It looks like a wooden roller coaster or something. And so I'm walking around this side. I kept finding more and more stuff, and I was so surprised at how much I enjoyed checking this out. I just thought, I'll pop in here, this little museum. We'll see what they got. But it was really awesome. They build these towns. You can see how right there they're in construction for this town. And I'm sure there's way more detailed information about this, but like I said, they're building it. I asked one of the main people if they would go on camera for an interview, but they were a little bashful. So I'm sure if you visited, they'll be more than happy to tell you all about it if you're more of a train enthusiast, model train enthusiast than I am. So this room kind of, I went as far as I could to where the tracks ended over here. This is back to where I started walking into the room in the first place. They have an upstairs as well that was closed, so I think they're working on some things for future projects. So it would really be cool to visit this place maybe at least once a year to see the different progress. They said they were getting ready for some sort of a show coming up in November, I believe in the middle of November, so that would be pretty interesting to see. And as all the little towns I've visited before, you can recognize how well they've done with the detail. And there's like a cattle lot there next to some elevators, and you can imagine that's pretty much what it would look like. And then we head over to the other room. So if you turned right when we first came in the building, you'd head over into this part of the building, or you can just do like I did and walk through this area with all the tracks right there and the trains. Seemed like there was a little more construction going on over in this side, but still amazing detail with what they've already done. Like I said, there were many people here working at the same time, so a lot of people interested in this and working hard. You can see so much work has been put into this. This is a table here that folds up. You can see the tracks kind of run across it so they could lay it down, and I'm sure that connects. This was more of the city part of the tracks. See the big city right there. I love they had this touch here with the old drive-in movie theater. They don't have just the trains, but they have roads for cars, so they really incorporate everything you would see near railroad tracks. This looks like a more modern expressway. Amazing place to visit, highly recommended if you're in Oklahoma City on a Saturday or Sunday. You must go check out the Oklahoma Model Railroad Association and Museum.